Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great week so far. Today's episode is going to be a little different because of a few things. One, I'm not bashing or complaining about AI, warning you about what it can do and the terrible things. Because this time it's finally being used the way it should be. And another reason that this episode is going to be different is because it affects, I know, many of our listeners in one way or another, and also me personally, because I have a family member that has this. If you know of a person, a friend that has a family member, or maybe you have a family member that has dementia or Alzheimer's, you're going to want to listen to this episode because this is important. It gives us some hope. USC researchers just used AI to do something no brain scan has ever done before. Instead of giving you one single brain age number, it creates a detailed 3D map showing exactly which parts of your brain are aging faster than others. We live in a world where the most powerful technology ever built is being handed to you without instructions, without warnings, and without anyone asking whether it serves you or uses you. That question has a name: the virtuous machine. I'm Michael Ruthier, and this is Tech for Grownups, the show that believes technology should answer to human beings, not the other way around. This is the show the tech industry doesn't want you to hear. No corporate talking points, no sponsored opinions. Just honest conversation. Let's go. So the good news is that we are on the right path. Researchers trained a deep learning AI model on MRI scans from nearly 15,000 healthy people, ages 19 to 100. Now, I'm excited about this because if, like I said in the beginning, if you have a family member or know of someone that's going through this, you know how heartbreaking it is. And I'm talking to you because I can identify with it. And I've seen it before outside of my own family, but this has come up within the last year and a half. And it's tough. It really is. So it's emotionally, it's draining. But I'm excited because this is what they actually did. They trained a deep learning AI model on MRI scans, right? So this is how we train models in AI. Now, the traditional brain age tools reduce your entire brain to one number. It's like a single grade on a report card, if you think of it in that manner. But this new model, instead, it measures aging to the voxel level, and that's the 3D pixel units of an MRI, giving a detailed heat map of the entire brain. And I've seen this, the pictures from it, and it's amazing. And this study was led by Dr. Andre Iremia at USC, and it's published in PNAS, which is the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, PNAS. Now, this is the good storytelling here, because there was a surprising discovery in healthy brains, and I wouldn't have thought about this until I saw this, and it's like, wow. Even in perfectly healthy people, brain aging is not uniform. I'll say that again. In perfectly healthy people, brain aging is not uniform. The frontal and temporal lobes, those are your decision-making and memory, they age faster than the parietal and occipital lobes, which are the spatial awareness and senses. That makes sense. When we have this, we talk about these diseases. And the right hemisphere ages slightly faster than the left, regardless of whether someone is right or left-handed. Now, I want to ask you a question. Did you know that one side of your brain might be aging faster than the other right now as you're listening to this episode? And it has nothing to do with which hand you write with. I found that interesting. Now, here's the part that really matters, and it's the Alzheimer's connection. When researchers applied this AI model to people with mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's, it found dramatic localized aging concentrated in the hippocampus and the amygdala, the deep memory structures. I find that interesting because it found dramatic localized aging concentrated in those areas for the people who have mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's. This accelerated aging showed up in these regions before broader global brain changes were even visible. So I want you to think about that for a moment. This is hope. That if they can see that, these are telltale signs of someone that's about to have cognitive impairment of some sort or even full-blown Alzheimer's. An older local brain age directly correlated with worse scores on cognitive tests. The stronger the correlation, the further along the Alzheimer's progression. Like I told you earlier, if you know what I'm talking about, you should be excited. Although we might not be able to help our loved ones now and people that we know and care about, this can diagnose it earlier. This can save lives, I believe. And this can prepare families and friends on how to deal with this. Now, I want to talk about why this could be a big deal going forward. This could eventually let doctors catch dementia risk earlier than current methods. And this is even before obvious symptoms appear. Now, sit with that for a moment. Before the obvious symptoms appear, they can catch this and say, hey, this is what's happening. It could also help track whether experimental drugs are actually slowing decline in specific brain regions during these clinical trials. This is exactly what I've been talking about with AI. AI is here to help humanity, not to destroy it, not to figure out how to make the next $1 billion. This is what this was for. And there are so many people screaming off the rooftops of this, about this. Excuse me. I'm excited. This right now, if it flips brain aging from one score, thinking into which neighborhoods of your brain need the most attention. Think about that. So instead of that one grade, like you get an A, when you walk by restaurants, you see, sometimes they have an A or a B or a C or whatever rating on their window from the Public Health Authority. This is no more of a single score. This is regions now. Now those regions can show a lower score on this testing. That is what needs attention at the moment. Now, as I always do in every episode, I like to give you precision over panic. Dr. Aremia himself stressed that this is still a research tool, not something your doctor can use yet, and that's fine. I understand that, and I agree with that right now because we need to continuously test it. It needs validation on messier, real-world clinical data, not just pristine research scans. We need that validated research in order to create something that can treat, something that can be used in doctors' offices or even in hospitals or wherever, because depending on their resources. And the study was also a snapshot in time. It's not a long-term study following the same people for years, so it can't yet prove the model predicts who will actually decline. And that's why I wanted to be real with you here. Again, I'm excited because we're on that tipping point. We're going in the right direction. Now, I'm going to ask you something. What would you do differently today if you could see a map of your own brain aging faster in specific spots? What would you do differently today if you knew this? Also, does knowing this now change how seriously people take brain health habits, sleep, diet, cognitive engagement before the symptoms ever show up for cognitive decline or even Alzheimer's or dementia? This is a serious conversation that you should have with yourself, honestly, and with your loved ones. We have to take care of ourselves. We're responsible for our own health and also our family's health. And this is an opportunity for us to finally get ahead of this, because anyone who's experienced somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's, it is so epically heartbreaking. It's sad because that person, they still are the person you love. That hasn't changed, but they've changed, in some instances, the violence. It really is. It's tough to experience. This is a pure example of AI being used the way it should be, not replacing human judgment, but giving doctors and researchers a sharper, earlier signal so people can act while there's still time to do something about it. Thank you for listening today. We'll keep pushing. I'll see you in the next one. Marcus Aurelius asked a question that I think about every time I sit down to record this show. What is it fundamentally that this thing is for? Not what it claims to be for. What is it actually for? That's the virtuous machine question. And it applies to every piece of technology being built right now. The AI, the algorithms, the platforms, all of it. You'll find everything from today's episode at techforgrownups.com. Join the conversation in the community. The link is there. Stay sharp, stay loud, and I'll see you in the next one.